How about
Salma.
everyone?
How are you? We are fine.
Hi.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm all right.
Wonderful. I think we need to introduce from which country we are all joining in.
Yeah,
We will do
definitely.
it. We will do it.
All
Yes.
right, during your introductions. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, that's it, Anastasia. Take control. Okay, so the floor is yours whenever you want.
Okay. First of all, please, if you don't speak, put you on mute because there are different background sounds. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, there are people from around the world. That's why I don't know what I need to say exactly. I'm really happy to be the host of the meeting today and lead you through this wonderful, great event. I'm 100% sure it will be unbelievable. And yeah, before we start, I would like to say a couple of words about Agora Speaking International. Probably there are some people who joined us occasionally, or yeah, just to be sure everyone knows what it is. Agora Speaking International is a club organization presented around the world, as you can realize from the name of it. And there are a lot of clubs in different various countries. The list is really impressive. And the main idea of the organization to improve or to support the participants in assisting the participants in improving their communication, presentation, and leadership skills. Normally, the meetings are done offline in different rooms, but due to Corona, or thanks to Corona, we got a wonderful possibility to join it from home. And that's why there are a lot of people from different corners around the world. And today I would like to play kind of game. Everyone who will speak today, please tell us something about your country, but not the things what every tourist knows. For example, that India is famous for its Taj Mahal, or there is Kremlin in Russia, but something that you would like to recommend to the tourists. And when this current situation is over and we all are allowed to travel, what we need to visit in your country. Okay, then we have a tough agenda for today. And there are some roles, some very important people today who would assist, who would help us. The first one is our timer, Salma. Could you please say a couple of words about your role, what you're going to do? Yeah, this floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Salma Naz, and today I have taken this role as a timer. I mean, like, everything is for the first time here on this platform. So I have made an effort to give this reminder to every presenter, in fact, every speech. So this would be a positive one, right? So like, still you have time and you may say things. And then this is something that you are going to run out of your time. So be ready for the signal. And finally, here you are at risk. So I have made this. Thank you so much. So this is all about my role. Thank you.
Salma, thank you very much for your clarification. Yeah, could you please tell us about your country, a couple of words, a couple of sentences, what you would like to recommend us to visit when this coronavirus is over?
Okay. I'm from Pakistan, and of course, it is a land of great people. The speciality of this land, so far as our people are concerned, that they are very sincere. So whenever somebody approaches our land, so they are warmly welcomed. And there are several videos on social media that those who visit our country, of course, they were highly welcomed. And secondly, our country has got many popular places. So northern areas is the first place of attraction where people visit there, and then they do mean like that is the beautiful, most beautiful place over there. Thirdly, that my land has got, there are several types of different sects and schism people, but they're normally when they sit together, so they know and they understand together, so there is no conflict. I mean, it varies from person to person, but this is my personal perception about my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, the next role what I would like to present is the role of the listener evaluator, and it will be done by Yulia Borisov today. Yulia, welcome on stage.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's worth to consider that listening is an essential skill nowadays, and it takes time to learn. Listening is also the key of effective communication and have benefits also on our personal lives, like in a great number of friends, confidence, and in general well-being. Listening is not the same as hearing. It requires more than that. It requires focus and concentrated effort, both mental and sometimes also physical. So people spend more time thinking about what they are going to say when it's their turn to speak, rather than concentrating and actively listening to what the other person is saying. So yes, people don't actually listen to each other. Today, as a listening evaluator, my role is to prepare a set of questions that has been said during the meeting by any of the participants. And this question will be of the generic nature. So don't worry, you don't need to take any notes or memorizing anything. Just be active listeners, be fully involved. And we'll meet at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, we will check if you slept or if you listened properly. And Yulia, could you please tell us a couple of words about your country where you live? How you can attract the visitors?
I will tell something about my adoptive country here in Italy. Italy, I will not say about big cities, beautiful big cities like Venice, Milan, Rome. Anyway, here, if you like to live the simplest life, like good meals, very nice historical centers in all the Italy, the seaside mountains, everything, good people, nice to talk, long discussions at the meals that takes like 4 hours. It come and visit Italy, yes, you will be, you will enjoy it and you will find very, very nice people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to the next role, and it will be the grammarian of today. And Coca, thank you very much for jumping in. Yeah, could you please explain what your role is?
Always a pleasure, Anastasia. I'm from the beautiful, magical, mystical, and magnificent country of India. And believe me or not, oh, yeah, there you go. Namaste. Right. We have 22 official languages in India, let alone hundreds of local dialects. Okay, we are very diverse, and every state brings with it its own magic and language and customs and traditions. So I'm from the eastern side, the southeast side of India, from a small town called Visakhapatnam. It's a coastal city. What is good about my city? It's a beautiful town. You have a great coastline with the Eastern Ghats. They call it the mountain ranges of the east side of India are called the Eastern Ghats. And you could go trekking on these Eastern Ghats. You can see fishing villages along the coast. Now, my role today as a grammarian is twofold. Now, the first work I need to do, or my job is to listen to you as you speak and know if you're identify if you're making any small grammatical mistakes and give a report at the end of the meeting. My role today is also to give you the word of the day. The word of the day today I've chosen is, I hope you can all see this on the slide. It's yearn. I have an intense feeling or longing for something. It's called I yearned for to learn ice skating from my childhood, but I never got.
Oh,
And
Or could you
with
please
that,
mute your microphone if you don't speak?
all right, she yearned for a glimpse of him. Now I request everybody, all the speakers and all the role players, to try and use this word yearn. It's a verb during your speeches. My second role today is the filler word counter. I will be counting the filler words you use during your speeches. Filler words like short pauses, you know, you see, so. All these are filler words. They tend to pollute your speech. So we, as a good speaker, need to avoid using these filler words during our speeches. Now, why do we have a grammarian in this house? We have a grammarian so that we can learn a new word every time we have a meeting, and we also learn to speak good English. That's about my role today. Back to you, Anastasia.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Kokam. Now we are going to our next point in our virtual travel, and the next speaker will give us a speech or will present the thought of the day today. Let's welcome Victoria on the stage.
Okay, so hello friends, and first I want to tell you something about Poland because I'm from Poland. I'm really near Anna. So I live in the south, in the mountains, and Poland is really diversified when it comes to the landscape. We are near the sea, Baltic Sea, we have some plains and a lot of mountains, of course. And as a nation, we are not really that diversified. Most of us are Polish, white people, so like kind of 96%. So a lot of people say that, yeah, the Polish are prejudiced when it comes to others, but from my experience, they are not. We are hospitable and we are famous for that. When I talk with my foreign friends, they always say, I would love to have a Polish wedding because everything is so luxurious here. So the weddings takes 2-3 days. There's a lot of food. They are serving it all the time. You could have like 20 meals, really believe me, and pastimes. And there's music playing all the time. There's orchestra or something. So yeah, so this is really famous Polish wedding when it comes to this. And now I want to tell you something about my thought of the day. So today I want to elaborate with you on the idea of progress and how it functions in our society. So in the recent years, 15 or 10, there were a lot of great books written by Nobel Prize winners, as to mention The Rational Optimist, The Great Convergence, Getting Better. So, and plenty more, 30, 40, but none of them gained any public appraisal. So they didn't win the Pulitzer Prize in comparison to a lot of books talking about genocides. There were 4 about cancer, about mass global extinctions, and about racism. They were tackling the negative things. Those are really important issues. I really agree, but we lack this balance. You could know that all of the books that won were negatively inclined, whereas the non-optimistic ones. And it's partly because of our nature. So it stems from the way we perceive the world. So we have a lot of negative inclinations. So we note negative faces in the crowds way more faster than the positive ones. Only one critical comment can make us down, even though we've heard like 100 positive ones. Isn't it unbalanced? So that's the way. And we see it in the media. So the media is using that really often. They are showing us the terrorists attacks, the negative things, people who are dying on the streets. And it's all the time. It's like 24/7. It's really important because we still have many sad problems in this world, and we need to improve them. But we have no optimistic, almost nothing optimistic in this media. There is a famous saying that prophet the word that say the worst thing, and they will crown you a prophet. And you can see it in the media, so they want to catch your attention and so on. But even if we speak with other people about the progress, about how the technology will develop and will look in the future, so we tend to be fatalists. We tend to see the negative sides, not the positive ones. So when it comes, there was Morgan Housel. He's financial analyst, and he said that when you are talking with someone, and he talks in negative way about the future or about a book, you tend to think about him that he's more rational, more wise than in reality. And when you are talking with an optimist, it's usually, oh, okay, it's a little too childish. It's not probable. You are not realistic. Yeah, come on, what you are talking about? Yeah, isn't it strange? I think we need to improve it. And there are a lot of books talking about this thing, about our future, because I was a fatalist. I was thinking about the future in really sad terms. I was thinking, oh my goodness, overpopulation, we'll never do this. There's financial crisis, there will be for sure, economical ones. We need to come back to how we lived in the past, but it's impossible. I think we have so high standards now that we couldn't go to past, because all of us have electricity at homes, all of us flowing, like most of us, flowing water. Even one of the most areas with poverty, yeah? Like in the past, there were 95% of people living in poverty, and now it's still a huge number. It's horrible, but it's way more. And if you want to find out more about the idea of progress, not to be all the time this fatalist who says, no, we are on the demise of civilization, it's not gonna work. But I highly recommend you this book by Steven Pinker. It's great. He tackles a lot of topics there about security in our society, about this simple idea of progress and rationalism and technology, environment. It's fascinating book. And so yeah, so think about it in this way. Don't be a fatalist all the time, because it's easy to say negative things. It's harder to be this rationalistic and optimistic in a way. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. You can open a session. What books you can recommend? Last time it was another book, today this book.
Yes, I love books. I could send you some nice recommendations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I would like to attend Poland wedding. I sounded really great.
Yeah, they are great.
Salma.
Invite us for all of us for your wedding then.
Okay, first I
Yeah.
call my husband, but then I will call you and just say, come on, come to my wedding. Yeah.
Victoria, could you type the name of the book in the chat box, please? Thank you.
I can type it on Messenger if you want.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Because the title was in Polish, so I need to find the English one. Okay, so I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Salma, would you like to give a feedback to the thought of the day?
Yes. First of all, the confident speech, of course, I really appreciate. The body language was great, so I must appreciate it so. The third point, the content of the speech was well done. The reason that it was the amalgamation of contradictory views of the universe, like how we are pessimist and we are ignoring the optimistic approach. So, and how she has connected that media is playing the role in order to inculcate this message to the audience that should we focus on this pessimism or should we focus on optimism? So I really appreciate that. The third thing that I appreciate that Victoria has presented, that she always gives references. So this reference is, of course, as being a researcher, I really appreciate this thing, right? Little bit, so far as timing's issue, of course, it can be overcome with the passage of time. So it must be taken into consideration. Her accent and pronunciation are my favorite. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Salma.
Yeah, thank you very much, Salma. Yeah, I would like to encourage you to give feedback to the participants because it's really a necessary skill for a leader and for the modern communication. Because you need to give feedback, you need to evaluate the people who are working with and your employees and so on. Okay, now we're going to the next session of our meeting. I mean the prepared speeches. And the first prepared speech will be presented by Gabriela. Gabriela, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anastasia. Would you like me to tell something about my country first, or?
Yeah, it would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
Well, hello, everybody. As you may know, I come from Romania, which is an European country. Well, it's an ex-communist country with a lot of political and social problems nowadays because of the way we are developing and learning about the freedom of speech and about critical thinking, but we're taking things and moving in the right direction, I think. Now, Victoria was speaking about Polish weddings. Romanian weddings are the same, if not worse, because they are really expensive, lavish, and they cost so much money that at the end of the day, the couple will probably go bankrupt. They involve a lot of food with 20 or maybe 21 dishes, but they're all tasty. Although you can't, of course, finish or even taste some of them. But maybe the first, or what you should know about Romania is that it's really a gorgeous country with different forms of landscape, and we have mountains and the seaside and the Danube Delta, and it's really a wonderful country. Some of the areas of the country are less developed than the other ones. For instance, the one I live in, Moldavia. But if you want to really see a beautiful region of Romania, then go to Transylvania. Also, there is the famous Dracula castle there, and everybody knows about this story. If you visit it, there will be ghosts grabbing your feet and threatening you, and you may lose your life or soul. Who else? Who knows? So yeah, that's about Romania. So when the pandemic is over, if it is ever over, please feel free to visit it. And now my speech. It's called Identity, and this is not, it's not a meta language, I hope. So it's just the beginning of my speech. When my 15-year-old son asked me at the beginning of a painful divorce suit, "Mother, will I be able to change my name?" I was shocked and asked immediately, "How can you say that? You're a man. Your name is your identity. You cannot change that." That was my first reaction, coming from deep down inside, where you know all your truths are stored. But then I said to myself, how about me? Will I change my identity? I'm a woman, the second sex. To tell the truth, I'm a doodler. I can't think unless I visualize my thoughts. So I designed a chart that took the shape of a very tall tree spreading over 3 realms. Its roots were deeply seated in the first realm. That was my past. That went back so far that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see where it ended. I'm also short-sighted. That is where my ancestors were, both from my mother and my father's side, my great-grandparents, and the branches were growing upside down to Big Bang, probably. The first atoms that appeared on the first day of this universe were there at the very end of my roots. I could not change that. The history of the world was there and I was part of it. Then came the second realm, the present, the only area of the game that I can move freely in. I can choose to live and do what I like. I have a profession, marry, have children, create things, or do none of these. I can choose to do or not to do, to be or not to be. The trunk belongs entirely to me, and I am its only designer. I decide on the number of branches I will grow and their vigor, and how these branches will become other roots, trunks, and branches of the future worlds. I decide the value of the step I put in them, the nutrients of their attitudes and beliefs. I can also decide how many people will find shelter in the shade of my trunk. I am a woman, a creator. I can change things. Because finally, at the end of my branches, I will be able to rest. I will be there in the future, and my offspring will say, look, that was my grandma. Her name was Gabriela. She bore the name of her father and the name of her husband. She got divorced at some point. She wrote stories, taught thousands of children, and spoke in public. When she didn't understand the world, she rewrote it. That's who she was. And that is my identity, not my names, what I bring forth, rather than what I go back to. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. It's a really serious speech and to make us think about who we are. And yeah, and after the Polish wedding, I'm going to Romania. For the next wedding, the next point. Now we are going to listen to the evaluation, to the feedback from Shakia. Shakia.
Okay, thank you very much, meeting leader Anastasia. So before I go for my evaluation of Gabriela's speech, I would like to talk about my country. So I'm from Sri Lanka. So and I have to say, Sri Lanka is known as from the past as well. It is known as the Pearl of Indian Ocean, and that's why another reason that it is being attracted by many tourists, and not only tourists, it's been attracted by many invaders because of that geological situation of Sri Lanka, because it's kind of like a good island where you can in diplomatic way, if you think it's if you can invade that, you can make a sea fortress, make a huge sea fortress as a country, a whole new sea fortress where you can connect the east and the west both in the one position. So that's why Portuguese tried to invade us, and that's why Dutch tried to invade us, and even Indians, right? Even from the early stage, they tried to invade us, and only one be able to invade us and and also rule us, and that's because of our selfish people who became like that. Otherwise, uh, they won't be able to invade us as well. So that's how English were able to invade us. So uh, I know that some of you all have visited Sri Lanka, and some of you have heard about the beautiful beaches of Sri Lanka. And so Sri Lanka, if I say in a summary, Sri Lanka is an island that where you can visit within a few hours of time from the coast of the beaches to mountains. So it's a one of those kind of like country that where you can visit, because I know now India for go for from the beaches to Himalaya like that, it takes some days. So but in Sri Lanka, from visiting from Colombo beaches or Hikaru beaches to Nurelia mountains, it take only few hours. So that's a beauty of this country. And the thing that I will talk about, the where that you have not heard about, is the authentic dishes. So to try out these our authentic dishes, you have to visit Sri Lanka. So I would like to invite all of you all, when this COVID-19 pandemic situation cleared out, I invite all of you to visit Sri Lanka and try out our authentic dishes. And my suggestion is to try out our main dish called as kottu, which is going to be tasty and mouth-watering dish that you will every tourist is going to like.
Sorry, could you please mute your microphone if you don't speak? There's some background sound.
Yes. Speaking of that, okay. So coming into my main theme, my main job is evaluating Gabriella. So I don't know. I mean, evaluating Gabriella is kind of like a hard job, because she's been. I don't know how to evaluate her, because she's been a very prominent speaker. So I will start in this way. So I just read. I was not able to read out the objectives, speech objectives. So these are the speech objectives as per your speech. So you have to discover your own personal speaking style, and you have to maintain. You have to you have to talk about your. You have to learn about your main strengths and weaknesses, and you have to learn to open up in the front of an audience and share your personal details, and learn to control your nervousness, and to and properly prepare for a speech. So I believe that you have achieved all these objectives in a high class, in an A-star way. So kudos for that, Gabriela. And with that, let me start with your speaking style. So I really like the way that your speaking style with your entrance, because you took the audience attention by taking. I mean, you could do you. I felt like you took the control in a nice way from the Anastasia, and you said, okay, my speech is about uh, uh, my identity, and like that you spoke about yourself. So what I really liked in your speech is that it was very motivative. For a, I think you represented the whole women, a single woman in this world actually. So that's what I felt in this speech. So I believe that's what's the hidden message that you were actually wanted to give in this speech. So that was really motivative, and at that you have done it in a great way. So well done, Gabriela, for that. And I really like your body language. I really like your vocal characteristics. That means your tone, your volume was really good, and your tone was, you were you were able to change your tone, and your voice projection was really clear. With the volume, it's not that really hard, and it's not and it was not sometimes it's sometimes hard for us to hear some people's when they try to speak louder, they shout like that, but you are not, you had your control, voice control was there. So I really like about that. Apart from that, I would like to mention some suggestion points in your speech. That is that one is, so I say this is not a negative point. These are kind of like where you can do it better. And in my point of view, okay. So in my point of view, I feel like I don't know whether you are using a laptop or you are using the mobile for to do this online speech, right? So if you are using a laptop, it's better if you can place it a little bit far away, like where you can see we all can see your top body in here. So where you can freely use your hands. Yeah, now I see now I can see a little bit your hands as well. So you can move, you can freely use your hands. So that will be really great for in body language. I know that I don't have to describe about how important the body language is. And another thing that I saw in you was that even though you were wearing specs, I saw whenever you were having a doubt, you were looking at up for the to catch up the next point. So it sometimes gives us that give us hint that okay, you are thinking about your next point. So those are the little things that you have to improve. Other than that, it was a really good speech, and all the best for you, Gabriela. And I really want to see your next speeches as well.
Thank you, Shakia. Really nice.
Thank you, Shakia, for your detailed feedback. Yeah, encouraging and at the same time giving some recommendations. That's really what we need to hear when we're evaluated. And yeah, the next speaker will be Nirmana. Yeah, Nirmana, we are going to listen to your speech and just a couple of sentences. What you recommend to visit in your country where you live?
I actually prepared only 3 sentences about my country. So if you want to experience the country where West meets East, where you can see new buildings, new stuff, and also traditional, then visit Bosnia. 3 top things in Bosnia are hospitality, food, and nature. That's it. Okay. Can I start with my speech, Salma? Okay.
Yes.
So this is my first project, and today I wanted to tell you about things that I love. Actually, I wanted to tell you about one thing in particular. I'm a huge learning junkie. I love to study and I love to learn. I never stopped studying, although I graduated like 6 years ago. Studying and keeping myself and keeping my brain into shape is something that really makes me happy. And usually when I share this with people that I meet, they give comments that they perceive studying and learning as something that is more for, let's say, kids or youth. And they usually say that kids are better learners and they have, let's say, better memory, they have like faster brains, they have ability to learn faster and so on. But let me tell you the truth, it's not like that. Actually, we all are the same capable to learn new things. The fact is that kids use their brain every single day. They exercise their brain. They learn new things. They learn new activities. They engage themselves into something they never seen or experienced before. That helps their brain to function the way that they are capable to learn things faster than the majority of grown-ups. And considering this, I want to deliver you the secret from one of really motivational great speaker called Jim Quick. He actually discovered me the secret of learning faster, and it's called be fast. Actually, this is one phrase behind which every single letter is hidden one story or one message. This is my notebook, and this is how I wrote it first when I actually watched the video. So let's start. B stays for a belief. There's no action you can do without believing into it. E stays for exercise, in a sense of exercise your brain. Keep yourself into shape, in a sense of like, if you do gym, by a time you get better, your body gets better, in better shape. The same goes with the brain. The more you exercise, the more easier it would be for you to learn next thing you would like. F stays for forget, in a sense of get that beginner's mind. When you're open to learn more, then you are able to learn more. A stays for actually for action, keep learning. S stays for state, in a sense of if you are in a happy mood, then you're more capable to learn, then you're capable to learn more. If you're in a boring mood, if you're sleepy, then the result of your learning is gonna be low. And T, which is my favorite, is teach. And that is why I'm trying you to remember this speech. Be fast, learn more. That will be it.
Thank you, Nirmana. Yeah, let's be fast. And let's continue our virtual journey with Tamara.
Okay, shall I tell about my country at first?
Yes, just the main important thing, what you recommend us to visit or to enjoy in your country.
Okay, I'm from the one of the biggest European country. I'm from Ukraine, and my country borders with many countries such as Belarus, Russia, Poland, Romania, Moldavia, and Slovakia and Hungary. And we have a lot of historical places, and I advise you to visit the capital of our country, Kyiv. It is a very beautiful city. And also I advise you to visit Lviv because it is in the west of our country, and it is very beautiful too, and they are very different. We have very beautiful nature, Carpathian Mountains, Crimean Mountains, Azov and Black Sea, and we are we are very glad to see foreigners. That's why I invite you to visit my country. And today I'm evaluating Nirmana's first speech, and I want to say that I like it very much because it was very interesting, even for adults, because we should know that we should learn every day, and we should exercise our brains, and it was very practical information. I can say that we can use it every day, and it is very important and useful for us. I want to say that you were very confident, and the subject was very clear, and you explained why it is important to practice and to exercise our brain, and you your speech was has a clear opening, body, and conclusion. It was very natural as for me, and I want to say that there are some things that you can improve. I think that you could not to say about that it was your first speech and it will be about something. and your speech was very encouraging. Thank you, and I will yearn for your next prepared speech.
Thank you, Tamara, for the feedback. I really like it.
Yeah, thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Tamara.
I like it, but can I comment on one thing? Because Tamara mentioned Lviv. So in Polish, it's called Lwów. And it's really interesting because it has history and it has both Ukrainian and Polish history. Because it was Polish city for 400 or something years, and it was considered one of the most Polish cities of all time among Warsaw, Krakow, and Vilna, which is now in Belarus. So yeah, that's what I wanted just to say.
Thank you, Victoria, for your small history information, short history information. Yes, now we are done with the first part of our virtual journey. We have already visited different countries, and we have listened to wonderful prepared speeches. And the next part of our journey will be unprepared speeches. And I'm really intrigued what are they prepared for us. Adil, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you, meeting leader. Hello, everyone. And I'd like to introduce myself and my country first. I am Adil Ahmed. I am from Pakistan. And like just Salma said, few things about Pakistan. And I also want to add in that we are rich in tradition and rich in culture. And we follow our traditions and culture. Like food, we have traditional kind of food, traditional kind of dressing. Our weddings are also really traditional. uh, Different provinces, different area have different kind of cultures. Like we have 4 provinces, and we have different kind of cultures in every area. uh, so where I belong from, I am from the province of Balochistan in Pakistan. And people here are really warm, welcoming, hospitable, and they really like other peoples to visit them. We have some really nice places, natural places here in Balochistan. And we have the sea area also in Gawadar. And we have complete range of mountains which are filled up of rich minerals like gold, copper, coal, and different types of marbles. So I really invite you all that you should come here and visit the place. It is beautiful. And the role which is I have taken today is of asking hot question.
Adil, sorry, before you start, yeah, first of all, thank you very much for your introduction of your country. We have one short change. Yeah, just not. Anna would like to say a couple of words before you start your session.
Okay.
Yes, hello everyone. Nice to see all of you. I think Adil will introduce his role, and I will introduce my role just before him, because I will be hot question evaluator. And I think it's important to remind people who will answer, who will be picked for answering hot questions, some rules. First rule, that your speech shouldn't be less than 1 minute. You need to be to speak 1 minute at least with your fluent English, with the flow, but no more than 2 or 3 minutes, because it's not speech, it's just an answer. Don't tell us more than we need to hear. Just answer openly, and that will be very fine. Secondly, I want to remind people who will answer the question that you have rights to take several seconds to think about what you're gonna say. Not just jump to answering. Take few seconds to breathe and think what you plan to say, so your speech will be more more beautiful, let's say. Third, that I want to remind, then hot questions should be very hot and unexpected. So if in some point they will offend your feelings, or at some point that will be against your thoughts or your beliefs, please don't be rude to hot question master. That means that he did his job very well. If question really unexpected to you, so don't be rude. Try to make a joke. Try to make us all laugh from your answer, and so we all can still stay friends and enjoy the process. And yeah, also I would like to say maybe to everyone that we have today timer in our meeting. It's Salma, and every time I try to speak, even now, I see that I pin her video and I see when she points some notes that now it's time to stop. So please, when you answer and when you speak, pin timer video so you can see when time is out. That's it from my side, and I will present my country a bit later. Thank you very much. Adil, floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna, for the description of rules. You really saved me. Okay, so who want to volunteer first? Anyone? Anna, you want to try?
Yeah, I just want to follow the rules I just introduced to guys, and I want to just prove that I can follow them, that it's not difficult. But I really already start to be.
Okay, no. First one is just a simple question. I mean, you like to introduce yourself first, or should I ask the question?
Ask question. I will introduce myself when I will evaluate myself.
Okay. So here's the question. I want to ask that what are your dreams in life, and how you want to follow your dreams?
What is my dream in life and how I want to follow my dreams? That's a very interesting question. And I like those kind of questions because I think everyone should sometimes stop and think about dreams. And as previous speaker said, we need to learn something, we need to teach someone. So to understand what is my dream, I need to tell someone what is my dream. So thank you very much for this question. Dreams could be different. And it could be some long distance dream, and it could be some dream that I can actually meet today. For example, if I dream about see whales somewhere in Iceland, today I can buy a ticket and just go to Iceland and see how whales are swimming. Of course, with COVID it's not possible, but this is my plan, and I can reach this dream very fast. And also dream could be something like long distance. For example, I dream to have a big family with at least 3 kids and live in a nice big house. And for this dream, I cannot just go and buy it right away and just give birth for 3 kids. So I have different dreams, and I think everyone has different dreams. And yeah, I am a dreamer. I like to dream, and I think that's, in short, that's it. My time is out. So thank you very much for your question. Thank you that you remind me once again to think about my dreams.
Thanks a lot, Anna. Yes, we always should dream all the time. I mean, to achieve our objectives, our aims. Okay, that was a good one. So who wanna try next? Any volunteer?
Yeah, I would like to volunteer.
Okay, so I want to ask that we are going through this pandemic virus period now. So what positives you have learned during this pandemic, during this coronavirus? What positives? Okay, did you understand the question?
Yes, I understand the question, and I want to give my views on the positive side of this pandemic. As I am a fresh graduate, let's first introduce me. As I am a fresh graduate in computer science, and I want to pursue my career in data science as a machine learner and a deep learner. So when this pandemic started in Pakistan, I was started my online courses on Coursera. And when this pandemic comes in Pakistan, I have decided that this time is the opportunity for me to avail this time as in the positive way to complete my skills on how to achieve my career in the field of data science. And I should suggest all the people should take it as a positive way to utilize this time to gain their goals, as this pandemic is going on and the employment rate is growing faster. So people should concentrate on the freelancing or giving, try to build up their skills to achieve their goals in another way, or try different ways to achieve their goals. That's it. I think my time is over now.
Okay, great. That was a good one. So who wanna try next? Anyone?
Okay, I will go.
I can try if no one wants, but maybe some.
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, so I want to ask that we all know that we are also having a crisis of water. I mean, it is a global crisis through global warming. I mean, what do we need to save the water? What steps we should take to save the water?
Okay, so there are many things we can do. So first, when we go to our bathrooms, it's the easiest one. So to reduce the amount of water, so we can just wash ourselves with the soap and then water. So to use at least as possible. So this is the first. Then second, if you wash hands, so if you use soap, you do not have all the time the water running, or if you wash your teeth. That's obvious for me, but for some people it's not, and I'm really surprised. And there are many different ways. So we should educate our children, people around, because for them to become engineers in the future and to develop the new techniques, because there is a water like marine water, the salty one, which can be somehow transformed into the water that is possible to drink. So I think this is really possible, and in the future it will work in this way, or we can utilize the water we used. Oh my goodness, there are many innovative ideas just to be discovered, just to be used. Yeah, so I think this is the future. So the water from the seas, from the oceans, and that we used. So reuse the water we used for, not for drinking, but maybe for washing the clothes, and so on. So yeah.
Okay, great. These were some nice steps. Uh, so who is the next?
Can I?
Sure, Shaki, sure. Okay, so I want to ask Shakia that you know about corruption, huh? It's everywhere in the world. So what effects it can make on our society? And it is not just financial corruption. Corruption can be of any kind. Okay.
So, wow, it's a very hard question actually. Well, I can say if you look into the countries now, why most of countries are being situated, I mean, regarded as developing countries because of these corruptions. Actually, if you look into it, because of the higher stand itself, and from the lowest position, everybody is thinking about how that I can make myself greater rather than thinking about others. So these corruptions start from being selfishness, I believe, actually. So it has a major drawback when it's come for development of a country, all because now countries, I'm not going to pinpoint specifically like saying that these countries are having these kind of corruptions like that. I believe even in the developing countries have corruptions. So they do, everybody trying to take the power from the other and trying to put down the others and come over the people. So that's where the corruptions happens. So when the corruptions happen, it will be, we will lose our humanity actually. So that's, I mean, uh, I believe all these kind of murder cases, all these kind of rape cases, all these kind of disappearances and human rights violations, all these kind of have a direct or indirect connection with the corruptions. So if we don't have these kind of corruptions, and if we can get rid of this root of corruption from this childhood self, from if we can uh, uh, mend our children's mind not to do corrupt and to think selfless way, then I think we all can have a happy future. So, over to you, Adi.
Oh, that was great, Shakia. Some nice words from your side, especially when you mentioned that corruption builds up when people think selfishly. That was nice. So I'm going to ask the last question now. Who want to try this?
Sri Karuna wanted to try.
Okay. Should I ask?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I want to ask that is it appropriate to provide internet access to children, especially younger ones? Is it appropriate?
Uh, it is appropriate to provide internet access to children, but it should be under supervision, because the internet is full of stuff which the children could be detrimental for their growth, I mean, like, or character building and all that. So a supervision from the parent and parental controls are always a must while providing internet for the children. Just giving them internet access and not monitoring it or not knowing what the children are doing on the internet, because internet is a vast ocean of knowledge. Even just like just now we learned from Nirmana, be fast, and there is so much of positivity, there is so much of stories and environmental knowledge, anything, any subject they can learn from there. So along with positivity, if they're not supposed to be subject to anything negative, the parental supervision is a must. This is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was great. Some nice points. So I am all done now.
Yes, thank you very much for really hot questions today. Yeah, you make us think about very important things.
I hope that these were hot.
They were hot. For me, they were really hot. Thank you very much. And now we have been to Pakistan, and our next travel point will be Anna. Could you please explain tell us where you are from, and yeah, give evaluation to Adil and to this hot session.
Yeah, first welcome to Ukraine again. Again to Ukraine. But since we already visited today Kiev and Lviv, I would like, even if I live in Kiev for more than 12 years already, my native town is in the very, very south of Ukraine, but not in Crimea, but in Odessa region. And my native town is right on the border of the river Danube. So just across the border, I can see Romania. And if I look to the right at night, I can see Moldova. So I can actually walk to both countries. Okay, I can walk to Moldova, but I can swim to Romania. And it's very close. And if someone noticed my surname, my second name, I just deleted from my nick. My second name, it's 100% Romanian. It's Doicu. So who is Romanian here? They probably heard this. It's "and with you." So I'm kind of more closer to Romanian than to Ukrainians. If you come to my native city, to my native town, Reni, it's very small. It's almost like village, but it's so wonderful. We have so beautiful nature, and we have river. And if you come to Ukraine, to my native city called Reni, by the way, sounds like French, but it's Ukrainian. I will invite you to barbecue on the river of Danube, to have some national music, national food, dances, nice view, amazing sunset. I will send some pictures to our chat lately, just so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that was where I'm from. Talking about a job that Adil did today, it was perfect. Questions were just as it should be. Thank you for those questions. I think we all have to think about how to save water. We all need to think about, not to forget about dreaming, our dreams. We all need to think about how to take advantage from difficult situation as COVID, how to think positively. And we also need to think how to use internet properly, and our kids as well. So those questions are really hot, and they make us think about for this. Talking about picked speakers who answered questions. I will not evaluate myself, just will say that I used, instead of a silent time for thinking about what I'm gonna say, I use technique just repeating your questions. So you ask it, I just repeat, and while I'm repeating, I was thinking what I want to say. And I think everyone can use it. It's kind of trick how you can say it. Yeah, thank you all who were picked speaker that you paid attention for timer. I think only Shakia again reached his target, but everyone was just in time. So Shakia, we really appreciate that you like to speak, but please pay attention on timer every time you speak. And thank you for your answer, Shakia. It was also a very full answer about corruption. Victoria, I think I will always tell you that your speech is like music for me. You say so nice, and your English is so advanced. And even when we talk about water saving, you use advanced English, and it was a pleasure to listen. Thank you very much for this. Another answer was from Iftikran, if I pronounce your name right. Congratulations that you start your courses on Coursera. That's a very good point, and I also liked your answer because it was answer for question. Yes, and also I have no time, so with appreciation to your time, Sri Karuna, your answer was also very good. Thank you for this, and thank you for your courage to speak. So you're not afraid. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Thank you for telling us about your country and for giving appropriate feedback to this hot question session. Okay, we have already been to different countries. We have already had different sessions today, but I would like to offer you another one, Johnny, and it would be kind of unprepared speeches journey, and I would like to encourage the people to take part in this session who has not spoken today yet. It will be a travel, it will be a trip via or air balloon. We have let's say I have 4 roles there, and only 3 people will stay. We have a technical problem. The air balloon cannot continue its journey further, and there are 4 roles, but only 3 people stay. And you need to convince the other people, us, that you are the person who needs to stay alive, who needs to stay on this air balloon. Okay, who would like to be the first volunteer? I cannot see everyone because you can unmute your microphone and tell me. Probably Julian.
I'm the heaviest from
Sorry,
all, and
Julian.
I will die first.
Julian, you will not be the Julian. I didn't explain all the rules. Please choose the number from 1 until 4.
3.
3. Okay, you will be Elon Musk.
Ah.
Please explain why Elon Musk has to stay on this air balloon. You have 1-2 minutes time.
Let me find Salma first. Oh, okay, I saw her. Elon Musk, it's a very clever guy. It's a guy who will bring us a lot of progress. It's a huge mind. You saw what he done few days ago with the launch of that rocket. He did a lot of good things for humanity, including electric cars. He is a new Leonardo da Vinci, I think. If I need to compare him with another huge personality of the world. I think he really deserved to stay alive. Even he did not you have a lot of people who don't like him because also he is very rich, and sometimes richness and it's not very something very good in some other people opinion. So I'd like to be Elon Musk. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Elon Musk. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, the fan group of Leroy asks me to ask the next question, ask him as the next participant. Leroy, please unmute your microphone, I cannot hear you. And choose the number 1, 3, 1, 2, or 4.
1.
1. Okay, you are Donald Trump. Please convince us that you need to stay in this air balloon.
I am Donald Trump. I am the president of the United States. I can bring development to the country, make America great again. All these protesters, they are thugs, they are mobs, they are troublemakers. Only I can solve this problem. I will bring law and order. Therefore, I must be alive. Thank you very much.
Let's drop him right now.
Oh, great, Leroy.
Thank you, Leroy. Yes, we're waiting for it. Or thank you, Donald Trump, Mr. Trump. Okay, the next victim, the next participant will be Florina. Sorry, everyone asked me to pick up you. Please choose. We have 2 numbers, 2 or 4.
4, the 4th.
Okay, you will be John Rowling. That's author of Harry Potter.
Oh, the author of Harry Potter. As you all know, I wrote one of the best books in the world. So
I'm also working on another bestseller, and you know that the world cannot live without books, without literature. Everyone is yearning for for books and fiction. So I must be in this balloon in order to have the people's mind filled with a lot of fictional and nice action, so that they can pass through this COVID period.
Thank you, Mrs. Rowling. Thank you very much. And yeah, I have just one role. Okay, and I have no any other choice. Alexander, you should be the next one. Please unmute your microphone. And you will be Madonna. Please convince us that you will help stay on this air balloon.
I always wanted to be Madonna. It's my dream in life. So, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say to save me? Well, you can imagine the passengers that we already have. Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling, Madonna, me, humbly here, and that guy over there. So think about it. What do you prefer? Whom do you prefer to save? Do you really prefer to save a guy that is always going on his own, that left the Kyoto Accord, that wants to punish the United Nations, that always wants to go first on his own? Then let's give it to him. And on the other hand, what do you prefer to be hearing for the rest of your trip? My music, which is already a legend, for free? Or do you want to hear the rambling of that guy with "Make America Great Again"? Really? Really? I say, let's drop him now. And considering his weight and my weight, we could get much further. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your speech, Madonna. Okay, we have some time. That's why I would ask you to vote in the chat who should stay on the air balloon. Just write the name. We had Donald Trump, Madonna, Elon Musk, or John Rowling. Who has convinced you that he needs to stay in the air balloon? Okay, 1 minute time. Okay, as far as I can see, Madonna has won. Madonna will stay in this air balloon. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And who do we drop?
I will keep it secret till the end of the meeting, till the end of our journey at least.
Well, I have to say, Leroy's Donald Trump gives some sympathy actually, not the real one.
It is my question. Why Leroy is keeping silence all the time when he is a great actor?
Yes. We need to keep him on balloon just so he can play any role, like Putin and any role. We can use his actor talent for our purpose.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much for this wonderful session. I enjoyed it very much with you. You played your roles in a great role. I couldn't have imagined it before the meeting. And yeah, our journey continues. We still have some stops. And the next stop will be introduced by me, because I have not introduced the country where I'm from. I am from Russia, and I originally from St. Petersburg, the most beautiful city. But all of you, I guess, know it, and I don't need to tell you anything about it. I will introduce to another point in Russia, what I got to know last year, and it's the biggest mountain in Europe. It's called Elbrus. For everyone who could check what your limits are, I really invite you to visit that place. From one perspective, it's a really nice, wonderful place to see. From the other perspective, you can check what your real limits are, whatever you can achieve. And this extreme situation will help to understand yourself or ourselves. Yeah, let's welcome to Russia and to Elbrus. Okay, now thank you very much for all this session what we have, and now we are going to listen to the role keepers who have done today a really great job. And the first one will be introduced by grammarian Koka. Could
Yes,
you please
Anastasia.
tell us how it was?
Thank you, Anastasia. Now, for the word of the day, only one person has used it this far. That is Florina. Give her a big round of applause. I don't know why people forgot the grammarian throughout the meeting. I was texting on the chat box, please, guys, please. Right, it wasn't a difficult word. At least I hope you'll yearn to use it next time. Right, now moving on to the language, I did see good use of language. I didn't have many mistakes to point out. Shakya had a few. Yeah, when you mention people, it's already plural, so you don't need to say some peoples. You can say some people, right? And Nirmana used the word learning junkie. Learning junkie, I like that term. Yeah, it went well with your speech. Yeah.
I love it too.
Right. Now, filler words. Shakya, I did see a lot of filler words from you, a lot of so's, and a lot of filler words from Shakya. You need to make a conscious decision on trying to remember every time you use a filler word. Shakya, where are you? Yeah, there you go. All right. Every time you get to a filler word, pause. Make a pause, drop that word, move to the next one in line. Try and do that. And otherwise, there were actually a lot of people used some filler words. There were too many, so I didn't make a note of them. Some of them were very few, so negligible. So I didn't want to make filler words when used in a conversational style of speaking. It's okay. I mean, if you're overdoing it, that's when it gets it starts polluting your speech. A few filler words here and there makes it like a natural conversation. So I didn't want to point out them to you. But I wish you guys you would use the word yearn in your daily language whenever you get a chance, right? That's all for me, Anastasia.
Thank you, Koka. And seems Tamara has used this word as well.
Okay, then my bad. I missed Tamara. Sorry for that. My apologies.
But no problem. And Leroy, he has used it in the chat right now. We're improving our grammarian and communication skills all the time.
Right, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your report. You have done a great job. Thank you very much. And now we're going to the next point, so the next very important role of today's meeting, and it will be presented by Salma. Salma.
Hello, everyone. Today I was totally mute because the responsibility was really high. So first of all, I must say that time is more than money, indeed. But first of all, I'll congratulate Anastasia as well, that you are a great meeting leader, that how you have taken the control of the whole meeting. And then the second congratulations to all of the participants, that they were great listeners. And thirdly, I'll appreciate myself that I perform my role as a timer. So here in the beginning, the experience was great indeed. In the beginning, I was a little bit hesitant. The reason was that when Anastasia tried to ask the question that introduce yourself. So first I mistook that this might not be countable. I mean, I shouldn't count this time. But with the passage of time, great friends like Alexander and Shakya communicated, and then they informed me that no, you are supposed to take it into consideration in the beginning. Be they are talking on the dealing with the speech or with the normal communication. So here, everybody did a great job, but from the thought of the day, Victoria has taken a lot of time. So this is like 12, more than 12 minutes that we were really engaged in within one thing. Then so far as Gabriela, mashallah, of course, her timings, how she has set the time and then she delivered her speech. Shakya has taken extra time, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Later on, for evaluation, 4 minutes and 32 seconds. And Nirmana, again, very much accurate up to the time. And the feedback that Tamara has presented, so she was also, she completed everything in time. That was 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Then Victoria asked for that she wanted to say something, so 22 seconds. And here, the one thing more, like her questions were really hot, but answer were supposed to be hot. After all, we were supposed to take that time, complete the time. So here, for her question, that 15 minutes were dedicated, but 7 minutes are consumed while asking and delivering the questions. Right, and then Sari like here, I think all the questions mean Anna in within the 2 minutes 23 seconds she completed. Then Iftihar 1 minute 31 seconds. Then Victoria 1 minute 30 seconds. So these were up to the mark. But here I may see the Sari Corona. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. So 49 seconds, though the actual 1 minute was dedicated to the whole speech. Evaluation from Anna's side, she is very calculative, I must appreciate. So she was very much concerned that how the timer is giving the alert, and then she was supposed to stop there. So, and finally the game that actors game, so that was up to the mark, and within seconds everybody did. Only Alexander took 1 minute 8 seconds, and chatting in the mid, so that was totally within 1 minute. And then finally, Anastasia has delivered her introduction within 1 minute 11 seconds. And Koka, I am yearning to be an exact timer for the next time. So of course, a really great vocabulary that he has shared. Thank you so much for your contribution. So 2 minutes, 39 seconds. And that's my job. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Salma. You have done a great job today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, and now we actually going to check if everyone was listening properly what has happened today. The next role will be listener evaluator. And Julia, welcome on stage.
Thank you, Anastasia. I yearn you all have been active listeners during this meeting. So I wrote down some questions, some simple questions, and I will ask you all them now. And if you know the answer, just unmute yourself and respond, okay? What's specific in Polish and Romanian weddings? Victoria and Gabriela mentioned it in the presentation. Go, Hermana.
Fact that they leased for 2 to 3 days and they are quite luxurious, and there's plenty of meals, dishes, and like it's a huge celebration.
True, it's like this.
They cost too much, as far as I understood.
Yes, also this. Thank you. How Gabriela describes the castle of Dracula from Transylvania?
You can
like
be
something...
killed there, or eaten, or eaten by someone who want to drink your blood.
So it's something frightening, not something funny. Okay. Why Nirmana thinks it's better to keep learning also after school? What's the secret?
Because you have to keep your brain in shape, exercise all this academic muscle, all these academic muscles, I guess, more or less.
Great, and the secret is be fast, right, Nirmana? Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's the tool to learn faster.
And what's Anna's long distance dream?
She dreams to be a mother, and a mother of 3, be married, have kids, completely settled down. That's
great, Nirmana. You are very fully involved in this meeting.
Gabriela, am I the best student today?
Yeah.
I have 3 kids.
3 kids, yes.
And a big house too. A Romanian-Polish wedding.
Yeah. And what are Victoria's advices to spare water?
To reuse water and to reduce when you brush your teeth, wash your hands.
E în casă și îl face.
Julian, could you please mute yourself?
And for example, to use marine water to make it that people can drink. That's it.
And to educate our children to become engineers so they can discover new techniques. Okay. Why Adil thinks Pakistan is worth visiting it? Shakia, do you remember?
I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, Adil thinks Pakistan is worth visiting because of the food and culture. He says there are 4 provinces, and each province, the culture and food and all is different. And there are many beautiful places, physically beautiful. So he's from Balochistan. He asked us to visit that place, that province. So that is, yeah.
Great. Thank you. And there is also gold there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anna is from a place that's the point of intersection of 3 countries. Which are these 3 countries? Do you remember?
One is Romania, and where she can swim, and on the river, she said she'll treat us to the national food and national dance and song and all. So, and she's a Romanian by her surname. The other country she could walk to, I couldn't hear it properly. Sorry, Bulgaria, probably.
Poland.
Poland.
No, no.
No.
Moldova.
Yes, the other one is Moldova. And the third one?
Ukraine.
Yes, Ukraine.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Yes, you've been quite active listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. It was also quite hot session, quite questions. But thank you very much for preparing these questions. Thank you for listening properly. And now we are going to the final step, final point of our virtual journey today. And I'm going to welcome Alexander on stage with his meeting feedback.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Well, I'll invite you to visit one of the bordering countries, my original birth country, which is Bulgaria. It's the second oldest European country after San Marino, founded in 681. And it has, I don't know whether I should claim credit for that or apologize for that, but it has the oldest golden treasure in Europe, dating from 6,000 years before today. Now, in terms of the meeting itself, I think it was a great meeting. I want to start with the meeting evaluator, and I want to extend a huge congratulations and a huge round of applause to Anastasia for all the hard work she did, not only during the session itself, but during the whole week. I, on purpose, didn't intervene at all to see how things would turn out, and they turned out great. So it shows that being a meeting leader is, let's say, being a meeting leader during the meeting itself is only 30% of the whole work. The rest is usually unseen, although in the chat group it was seen because she was chasing members for filling the roles, and she was persistent and she was consistent. So congratulations, Anastasia, absolutely fantastic job. For the rest of the roles that haven't been evaluated so far, first of all, the timer, Salma. I like the signals, they were quite cute. Also, one thing I would do though is these signals work in general. The signals that we manufacture, they work generally very well in physical clubs, but here in an online club, they are difficult to follow. It's not because they are unclear, but because unless you hold them constantly, it's very difficult to be focusing all the time on the speaker, because usually you have to look at how the audience in general is reacting. It's not just about the timer. So I would suggest using virtual backgrounds, which are easy to use. Well, you can download them, and you just set it up, and it just stays there. So if the speaker missed the instant where you showed the signal, he can always refer to the current status. And one additional thing, it's important to have clear when the signals are shown. For example, the green is when you have reached the minimum amount of time. The yellow is when you have 1 minute left, and the red when your time is over. And after your time is over, 30 seconds after your time is over, you should unmute yourself and kick out of the balloon or of the stage or wherever he is, the speaker, because we're probably fed up with him. I liked very much your report at the end, by the way, very, very detailed. That was absolutely great. Coca, the grammarian. Well, Coca is super experienced, great explanation, great word of the day. I'm yearning for us to use the words of the day even more, but probably today we're in a state of dual, as Chris would say. One suggestion is the same suggestion that I just came up with it, but I think it could work very nicely. Instead of writing a presentation, just try to, for a Zoom meeting, try to present it as a virtual background as well, so that it stays there the whole time, and you can like always refer to it. No need to be typing it in the chat. One interesting thing that we could try, because as you probably know, learning works especially by repetition. A word of the day during one single meeting, probably people are going to forget it for the next one. It would be interesting if the grammarian could also remind us of the past words of the day, although I'm not so sure. Maybe we could try it someday. I still remember dwell, for example, or your previous word of the day of every cloud has a silver lining. One thing I would add, though, in the explanation is that one additional reason for which we do the grammarian role, not only to enrich our vocabulary, but also to learn to improvise and not to memorize speeches. That's a very important factor. Anya, for the, oh wait, the speech evaluators first, Shakya. Shakya, your evaluation was nice and was very detailed. I would suggest, though, that you try to focus your thoughts, because the one problem I see in you, especially when you do the prepared speeches, you don't have that much of that problem so much. But when you're improvising, you tend to digress a lot. You're all over the place. You try to focus, and I would recommend a very specific role for that if you want to take it to the next meeting, which is Crossfire, because Crossfire will face you with a lot of questions that you have to reply in a very short time and very succinctly and precisely. Also, and as a general comment for evaluations, I yearn for the time where people would evaluate according to the evaluation cards. That's important, and the project goals. So both Gabriela and Hermana had project number 2, which is speaking about the things they like. They had some particular goals, and those are the goals that need to be achieved. And the evaluation cards are important because they guide what the evaluation should be. In that regard, I would like to congratulate Tamara on following exactly the evaluation card. Although she didn't show it, I saw that she was following the structure, especially when she evaluated the speech for structure, for naturalness, for things to improve. And by the way, as a general note to evaluations, try always to say something to for the person to improve. Otherwise, if it's everything is perfect, what is actually the point of being here? I mean, the point is not seeing a lot of pretty faces and having fun and throwing Donald Trump of the balloon, but it's just about learning something, which should be the point. One last comment. Well, Anya left. I love the way she did the hot questions evaluator for everyone else. She took control from Anastasia. Anastasia gave up immediately. It is a good idea to introduce the objectives before the section itself. I liked her suggestions and her explanation of the procedure. One thing I would like to comment, though, is that it's not so much about answering the question. You don't need to answer the question. It's more about speaking for at least 1 minute, especially if the question is something offensive or something like, as you warned, something that might seem rude to you. Doesn't matter. I mean, you just need to try to weasel your way out. And the only suggestion to her was that, well, clearly she loves to speak, is to try to keep it a bit shorter. One thing that should have been pointed out is that there are many members that haven't spoken at all, and I think the hot questions section is a great opportunity for them to speak. For example, I was trying to poke Christina into speaking, but time ran out. So I would suggest for the next sections to always try to ask people that haven't spoken at all, rather than ask for volunteers. And this concludes my evaluation. Congratulations, everyone. Well done.
Thank you very much for your evaluation. Thank you for Alexander. And thank you everyone for active participation in the meeting. Yeah, I would like to encourage all the people here to take active part in these meetings, to take roles, to volunteer. We are learning here. If we are making mistakes, it's an experience, and it's better to make mistakes here, but not in the real life, you know. Just try, right? Just go for it. And yes, just one organization thing, what could happen for the next meeting leaders. Please complete this spreadsheet, what is posted in the Facebook chart. It really helps to organize everything in a better way. Yeah, once again, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the meeting with you. I liked all the speeches. I liked your active participation, and I'm forward looking to the next meetings and meetings to you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anastasia. Just one small thing. Does anyone want to take any roles for the next meeting? Shakya, do you want to do Crossfire?
Yeah, Alexander, I will take. I will talk to you personally. Okay.
What about you, Christina? Do you want to have a speech? Thought of the day, maybe?
Next time.
Yes.
Okay, I prepare the speech.
Okay, great. Anyone else that wants to volunteer? I just wanted to make sure that those people, sorry guys, got to the roles. Second?
I want to be a hot question evaluator.
Okay, great. Excellent. Let me write down your name because otherwise I'll forget. Oh, darn. Good.
Iftikhar,
Yes?
Yeah.
your voice is quite low, at least for me. I don't know for the group.
I want to be a hot question evaluator, Iftikhar. My name is Iftikhar.
Iftikhar.
Is it clear now?
Iftikhar.
Yeah.
I want to work on, hello.
Yeah, Salma?
Yes, I want to be ready for prepared speech.
Okay, project number
the
2
next project.
is then speaking about the things you like. Anyone else?
I will prepare speech too.
Speech 2. You mean project number 2, right?
I mean 2 but okay.
Okay.
Number two,
okay,
too.
speech 2, which is going to be project number 2 for you as well. Great.
Leroy is going to give a thought of the day. Okay.
He left. we kicked him out. What do you expect? Okay, the rest during the chat. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you especially Anastasia for all the work during the week.
Happy weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice
Stay
weekend.
safe.
Bye.
Be safe.